and we've got one great show ahead of you.
I love it when I can stump the chooch.
Oh, boy, that's a tough one, Frank.
And welcome to another exciting edition of the Great Lakes Smoke Show. Take it away, Ron.
Good evening, aficionados, and welcome to the Great Lakes Podcast Show. We've got two exciting guests this evening in the pipe world, but want to first thank everybody for joining us tonight. Get your watch party set up, share the show with everybody you know. We're going to do a little introduction because, as you can see, there's a green shirt to the right of me. We'll let you know who that special person is in a little bit. But again, thank you. Thank you for all the support. We appreciate everybody that we saw on our special David Blanco Herf on Saturday.
Yeah, out of Tampa.
I hope you guys had a great one on that one. 6 solid hours of bringing you information and interviews about David Blanco and company. Also coming up, in case anybody's interested in the local area, this Saturday at Arlington Pipes and Cigar Lounge in Arlington Heights. Tell them there, Kyle, what do we got going on?
So we have a big pipe event going on, and it's Mr. Garrity's celebration of birthday that he'll be down there too with all the festivities. But we have discounts going with Peterson pipes, Savinelli pipes, Cornell and Deal, GLPs, Briar Works, all going to be in the house for the special occasion. So it's nice for you to have a birthday there, Tim.
Happy birthday, Tim. Yes, that was last week. And our brother Bob just celebrated his birthday on Sunday. So we got a couple old timers sitting around here. Welcome aboard for all you newbies out there. My name is Ronnie Pecorini. My man Kyle Jesso here to the left. Everyone? Down in Florida, sunny Florida, in the palm trees, my brother Bob Pecorini.
How you doing, folks?
In the palm trees.
I'm in the palm tree.
He's hanging from the palm trees.
Yeah, retired Bob, and then we got cousin Frank over there doing the computer work, making this all happen tonight. And to the right of me, the one, the only, president of the Chicago Pipe Club, Mr. Tim Garrity. So,
hey, Tim, don't forget, my birthday, too. I get a cigar.
Okay. You don't get a pipe? You don't have enough pipes?
Oh, a pipe and a cigar.
A cigar.
Yeah. I'll be there in spirit.
I'll give your spirit a pipe.
Something. There you go. Well, we got a lot of people jumping on board there. Thanks a lot, Dan Morton's on. Billy, our New York City EMS Billy has joined us. And he's got it all out there to his friends in New York City. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. The one, the only Bruce Stark himself, Scott Seeley is on. Oh, sister-in-law, Kathy Paterni. What's happening?
Tim's on.
There you go. Timmy's on also. Jose Martinez, Dave from Milwaukee. Dave, I got your present for you. If you're coming down Saturday, I got your winnings. So come on down there. Your gift-aways.
Gift-aways, yes.
So, folks, I know we're all excited and ready to go. If you notice, tonight we are smoking pipes, and that is a special occasion to our friend of the oldest American pipe company in the world since 1869, and maybe could be the oldest.
Not the oldest in the world, but
definitely the oldest. So we got a lot of information we were talking before the show, but sitting over in Missouri right now, the Phil Morgan and his it is his daughter.
His soon-to-be daughter, he didn't realize it, but he just has a new daughter, and she appeared next to him.
Take a look, Phil. What do you think? New daughter?
I was starting with something, but you guys jumped down my throat. It's okay. It's not a Ronnieism because I'm really thinking of something else, but
let's welcome Phil and Shannon to the show.
There we go.
Yeah, Ronnie, that one was too easy. They had to jump on that.
Yes, we had.
I even jumped down from my palm tree to get on that one.
Thank you for being our sponsors.
we got Kathy keeping track. That's Ronnie is a number 2 so far.
Number 2 already. Hey, Kathy, I'm gonna go for lucky 7 tonight. All right, that's what I'm gonna go for. Bruce is gonna keep the score the same way. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know you guys got a busy schedule, but thanks again for being our sponsors and for really putting out a tremendous pipe. We're all sitting here with one of these tonight, and I don't know what Bob and Frank are doing down there, but these are fantastic smokes. So thank you very much for the tradition that keeps going and going and going. And we look forward to seeing you guys next year at the show that we will be attending.
Nice, Kyle.
There we go.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about, there's a bunch of newbies. Tell us a little bit about the history of the wonderful company here that you guys are running.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, well, first of all, thanks for, having us on again. We jump at any chance to be able to talk about, our company and about just about being part of the pipe community, which, to me is one of the friendliest and most welcoming communities in any hobby, not just the pipe hobby or the tobacco hobby. But anyway, Missouri Meerschaum has been around since 1869, so this is our 152nd year, and it's really 152 years since our founder made his first corncob pipe. The founder was Henry Tibby, a Dutch immigrant, and he was actually a wood turner. And he came, his business in Holland burned down, so his family ended up coming to America. He was in, I think, Pennsylvania for a while, and then came to Missouri, into St. Louis, and eventually found his way out to Washington. Thank God, and just had a wood turning business, probably making, chair legs, table legs, things like that. And the legend is that either a farmer or a trapper, came down the Missouri River, and this guy had been making his own corncob pipes. And, and obviously we're not the first to make a corncob pipe. We're the first to commercially make a corncob pipe. Probably the Native Americans were the first ones to actually use a corncob, as a pipe. But anyway, this farmer or trapper had made his own corncob pipes, and he stopped at Henry Tibby's woodworking shop and asked him if he thought he could make them on his wood lathes. And he made a few. The farmer or trapper liked them. He made a few more, put them in the window of the shop, and it just took off from there. So so that's how the company actually began, kind of humble beginnings. And to me, what's really, and I think we've talked about it before, but what's really interesting, that started this industry. And here at the plant, we have a museum out here and a retail shop. And the museum's not just about us; it's about just the corncob pipe industry, as a whole. Because at one time here in this middle part of America, it was a decent sized industry, and was responsible for a lot of economic activity and economic progress, especially here in the Washington area. But he was so successful that even by the 1880s, he was already exporting corncob pipes into Europe. So he really hit upon something. He really hit upon something that was, received, widely received, really, really quickly. So, and I tell people when they come to say, well, we'd like to visit the plant, and say, well, that's great. We'd love to have you. Just be ready to walk back into the 1930s, because I think that we're, a lot of the machines we have, a lot of the processes we have, they are just exactly like they were almost from the very beginning. One of the workstations we have where they filled up, when they filled the cob with plaster of Paris, one of the workstations there, we have a picture that's well over 100 years old. That's the exact same workstation. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's we're still definitely doing things the way our founder, started from the very beginning. So,
Are tours available for the public to come, or do they certain times? Do they have to make an appointment to come through the not only the factory but the museum, or how does that work out?
well, the Shannon, you want to fill them in on that?
Currently, with the COVID era and with insurance, we don't take a lot of people through because we're not really allowed to. And with the COVID status, and our employees are not all vaccinated because we haven't made them do that, nor will we. We don't
Good.
really subject them to a lot of outside individuals. So, but if there is like a big enough group, we will, but it would have to be like after hours. So we kind of do that as an, kind of on a individual basis, because it's usually myself that takes individuals through. And I am a really good person, but I can only take so many at one time. This beautiful voice can only filter through. And it typically ends up at a tour, because even though it's not a running tour, it usually takes around, with 52,000 square feet, it usually takes around 2 hours to take individuals through, because just for one of our pipes from start to finish, it takes 7 days. So you look at all of our different pipe models that we have, they each take a different journey. So when we really get into it with individuals and they're very interested, you start with, okay, well, this one takes this, and this one takes this, and this one takes this. So they all kind of take a life of their own. And then when you're going through the stations, and then you see how that, corn optimally is stored for 2 years on the 3rd floor, and you start going through that. So, I mean, just logistically with time, we just can't do the tours all the time.
But you asked about the museum, and the museum and retail shop.
Correct.
That's open, to the public right now 7 days a week.
Correct.
During the holidays, it's 7 days a week. So, but normally it's open, 6 days a week, basically from roughly 9 to 4, roughly. But right now we're open like from 10 to 6, for the holiday. Yeah. Because with a lot of people, people in this area have people come visit, and for some reason we have a lot of people that come to this area who are from Europe or from Asia, and one of the first things they want to do is see the Corncob Pipe Company. So we want to be as accommodating as possible with the limitations that Shannon talked about.
And for our 150th, when we did open up 4 tours, we had an excellent response for that. I mean, I think on the first time we did it, we had like close to 2,000.
Yeah, about 2,000 people.
Wow.
So I think that did tell us that we should do it again, and maybe not wait 150 years.
Every 5 years sounds good to me. Harley Davidson does it every 5 years also. So just one of the old American companies still there.
Have you ever considered doing a video yourselves of the factory? I mean, being that it's a lot of people would love to see it, and maybe can't get there, or
I mean, I could probably, I don't know, at some point, you guys could probably sweet talk us even to doing even a podcast through one time. I think something like that would be a lot of fun.
That would be.
I think it would be very
that would be
informative.
awesome.
People would love to see it.
I know I would. Giving out ideas, because I'd never do that.
Yeah, but Bob, I agree with you that we should. Yeah, we have thought about having a kind of a professional video made, because you can do one yourself that it's really kind of not very good. You want something that somebody knows what they're doing. And we've had several people come through, like journalists who wanted to write an article about us, and they'll also come through with a camera and do a video. And some of them have done a really good job of it. But I do, and we do have a video that runs out in the museum but it's, gosh, I look so much younger in that one. It's probably
Hey, I know a good podcast company could come down here and put it.
I do think what it's missing is the questions that our pipe community really want to know when they go through the building. So you can have an individual come and do it, but it's really missing some of the, you know, the juice that the community wants to know.
Yeah, and you know, when we do that, I think it would be good to have somebody to, as if you're taking somebody through the plant,
Correct.
so that they can
Right.
ask questions.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah,
because
right.
there's things that we see all the time that maybe to us aren't, you know, don't appear to be that interesting, but to somebody that's never seen it or doesn't understand the process, you know, it would be something very interesting.
Yes,
I have a
and they
question
both
for
enjoy
you.
doing.
The question would be, so it all starts really with the corn, right? So what's special about your corn cobs as opposed to just your standard corn that people have been growing to feed the populace? This is obviously a different breed.
Yeah, it is. You know, Frank, it is. It's a it's a hybrid, but it's a hybrid that's made up of. It's not genetically modified, and you know, we want to make certain people understand that, because a lot of, especially in Europe, you know, they're kind of anti-genetically modified plants. So it's a hybrid, but not genetically modified. But it's a hybrid of about 4 old, what we would call old heritage lines, old open pollinated varieties of corn. And what we have a company in Iowa that maintains the hybrid forest. They have to grow out. In fact, they had to do it this year. They grew out the 4 different varieties. Then they have to then cross 2 of them together, and then cross that together to come up with the ones.
Wow.
But the reason, you know, the reason that we have to do that, you know, a lot of people ask, well, why don't you just buy your corn from, you know, some farmers around here? You know, and there's several reasons for that. One of the reasons is, you know, if you go out into a field of corn right now and look at the cobs, I mean, the cobs are just like, you know, pencil. Let me show you these. Like this cob right here. I don't know if you can see it real well. But
yeah, we can.
When you see how you can see where the grain is and see the diameter of the cob.
Right.
This is what we need. You know,
Wow.
we've got to, if you compare the diameter there, this is what we need to have right here. So that's one of the reasons we have to grow our own corn. The other reason we have to is when you harvest it, you know, a farmer nowadays, when they harvest with the combine, it picks the ear, shells it, and then chops the cob up and puts it back out on the field. Well, obviously that doesn't work for us. You know, so we have to harvest it ourselves with some 1970s era corn pickers that kind of look like a combine, but they pick the ear. Then there's an elevator at the back of it that launches it into a dump wagon that's being pulled behind it. But and I wanted to show you this. This is a cob, you know, from this year, and the reason, you know, on our hybrid, you know, the center of the cob right here is the pith. You know, that's the real soft part that gets grilled out for the tobacco chamber. But the rest of this next area of the corn right around here is called the woody ring, and it's kind of hard to see there, but on our corn, that woody ring portion is really thick and wide, and that's why you know, our cobs can make a pipe, because once that has dried for a couple years, ideally for a couple years, that literally is as hard as wood, and that's why we can make pipes out of this variety of corn, and we're the only ones that have this variety of corn because it's proprietary and unique to us. So, and here's the interesting too. What I think is interesting anyway. You know, I was a CPA by background. I knew nothing about corn, but except how to eat sweet corn. But now, you know, I know a little bit more about it. But the same seed, I don't know if you can see that, the same seed will give us a white cob, and some of it will end up being a red cob. Okay. And that's because of the variety, the 4 different varieties that make up the hybrid. You know, some of them, one of them this trait will come out, then on the other one, this trait will come out. So
interesting.
Do you ever know which one is going to come out, or it's going to be a surprise?
No, we don't. We just get surprised. And
wow.
We really, the there are some people that really like the red cob, or this, we call it a red cob. It's more salmon colored, but there's some people that just really like that color. But with the pipes, especially like this one that I'm smoking right here, which is a Charlestown cobbler, is for this bowl, this type of, to get it to look like this, you really need the white cob, because if you have the red, it shows, you just don't get the same, the same look with it.
Right.
So we kind of use them, for different, whichever cob we think, is best for that pipe, but we get about, 60 to 65% is white, and 35 to 40% ends up being red.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Now,
So,
what do you do with all
almost
the
like-
extra corn?
With when you say corn, you mean the grain?
The kernels, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's, first of all, I don't know if you know that it's white. It's not yellow corn. It's
Right.
white. So it's a food grade. So we sell it after we shell it. We sell the grain to ADM in particular, mostly to ADM, but it gets used either for cornmeal for human consumption, obviously animal feed, or my very favorite thing it gets used for is to make whiskey.
Nice.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
That's another thing I didn't know. Whenever we had, there's a distillery in New Haven, Missouri, which is just west of here, and they came by, wanted to start buying our grain several years ago, and they said the main reason is that white corn has a higher sugar content than yellow corn.
Yeah.
So it's better for making whiskey. Now I don't, I have nothing to prove that, except that they're the experts and they said it. So, and then we still have, which I think is great. We'll have these, good old boys, from especially down south of here, come in and they're, they got their bib overalls on, and, they say, hey, I'd like to buy about, 8 to 10 bushels of corn from you. And heck, do we sell it to them? Heck, yes, we do.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, don't
Along
let
with some copper pots too, right?
The great thing that usually happens about
Our most important thing
6
that
to 9 months later is they show back up with a couple mason jars
Oh, nice.
full of moonshine.
That's the
Nice.
I was just about to ask you, did you ever think about getting a private label of Missouri Meerschaum whiskey, and like from your grain to your bottle,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why don't you label it yourself?
A pipe and a pint.
Ooh.
Yeah, guy's thinking.
Hey Tim, I'm going to write that down.
So your semi-retirement, you could do the drinking part.
There you go.
We do this distillery that's just west of us. They do, on some of their labels, they acknowledge that the grain, came from us, but that's as close as we've come to it. But, Kyle, and I don't know, it could be the licensing or the whatever for doing that may be something, that would be, I've never pursued it, but it may be kind of difficult to, pursue licensing for that.
Kevin. I'd buy that brand. Yeah, I thought of like a great gift idea too. So you have the bottle of whiskey, and then you have a corncob pipe from the kernels where it was harvested for that whiskey.
I think it's a great idea.
I like that.
That's what we're sold.
Yeah.
It's a two in the middle there. I need to understand that.
And be like,
Hey, we're taking pre-orders. We're taking pre-orders right now. So
There you go.
I mean, that would be awesome. It'd be like, I'm smoking my pipe tobacco in the cob where my whiskey was harvested from. I'm ready to
Great
go.
Christmas gift.
It's paradise.
a pipe and a pint. I did write that down.
Take it from an Irishman,
Hey, I'm just saying,
So,
you're talking American history here. You got a corncob pipe from the 1860s, right?
Mhm.
And then you're talking about whiskey, which, another one of those products
Oh,
that made
yeah.
America great.
Yeah.
We're the first country to take corn, turn it into something
Oh yeah.
More
And,
chewable.
you know, it's two great, you know, American heritage products, you know, right there. And you know, if you think about it, it's corn, the whole history of corn. I don't know if you've ever read about it, but it's really interesting. My wife, you know, kids me about it because it took me several months to read the whole book about corn, the history of corn. But anyway, it's a fascinating history about how the Native Americans, you know, not from just North America, but especially Central America, you know, developed maize or corn, you know, from what was a small grass plant, actually. And that alone is fascinating. So when you consider both corn and tobacco are plants that were in the Americas, you know, so they're kind of, you know, both of those kind of go together because they're native to, you know, the North America and to the Central America.
So Shannon, here's a great idea. You're taking over, okay? Let's bring this whole company to a whole nother level. All right? It's the Great Lakes Marketing Show here.
Hopefully a higher level.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay. Well, here you go. Because somebody beat me to it, but I had this idea first, Andre. Sorry. No, Dave. So the cork bottle, make it out of the corn
The
piece.
soft part of the corn cob.
And you got it there for the corn. Look at everything you can do with all. You know, this would be a fantastic.
True.
I mean, think about it. You can sell it even in a liquor store and have the pipe next to the bottle. I mean, what a great deal.
Pipe and a pint.
Pint and a pint. Sorry, pint and a
pint. What's
Pint
a
and a
pint? What are you talking about? Pint?
Ronnieism number 3.
Ronnieisms.
Yeah.
I'm so excited here.
Coming
I
out.
am. I mean, listen, what we can do, we can help these guys take themselves to a whole
Or
other
even
level.
one better, the cork on the bottle can also double as a pipe holder.
How about you take the cork out and you smoke it?
You can make a cork where it holds the pipe.
Yeah.
There you go. I
Hey,
mean,
I'm telling some of this moonshine we get, you would not want to be smoking very
Oh.
close.
Paint remover, huh?
you know what?
Play rock, paper, scissors to see who's drinking that first.
It'll be an enlightening experience.
I'm telling you.
Moonshine is a great sanitizer for your stems.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. You're thinking.
Yeah. Corn squeezins.
And when you do your tour guy, whoever does this job, have them dress up like in the 1860s and 1870s in that, the outfits, and have him do the tour. Well, with the original days. I'm
And
telling
you
you.
could use the shine for disinfectant of the hands.
Disinfectant.
That's it.
Clean everything.
Yeah.
Right
Yep.
out.
Shot for the hand, shot for your soul.
That's right.
Well, hold on a second, if you don't mind. We are going to do our sponsor moment here, and we're going to get right back to you guys, okay?
Right.
Okay.
All right. Take it away, Frank.
Before you light your next cigar, be sure to check out Cigar Medics, the makers of the patent-approved humidimeter. The humidimeter is a tool designed to display the relative humidity inside your cigar. With this device, there's no more guessing. Simply insert the probes into the foot or cap of your cigar, and you can instantly know if your cigar is ready to be smoked. Buy now on cigarmedics.com and see site for other cigar accessories. With the humidimeter, you'll know when to hold them and know when to smoke them.
DAV Cigars out of New York. Decades of experience combined with true love and deep understanding of cigars result in the highest of standard of each DAV hand-rolled cigar. RnA Treasures out of Tampa Bay, Florida. The last of a legacy. The last of an inventory of Thomas Cristiano in a warehouse where everything is aged and well kept for all your pipe and smoking needs.
At Norwood Royal Cigars, we have the biggest walk-in humidor in the Midwest. Our 1,500 square foot humidor is home to almost 4,000 different cigars that will meet the need of any cigar enthusiast. We have boutique blends to the more traditional selections and everything in between. From the novice beginner to the aficionado The knowledgeable staff at NRC will find the perfect cigar for you. Located on the northwest side of Chicago, we want to be your shop for all your cigar wants and needs. As always, at Norwood Royal Cigars, light it, smoke it, love it.
Kristoff Cigars uses only the highest quality double and triple fermented tobaccos from around the world, which are then artfully blended. Whether you're looking for the smooth, mild, and full flavor of the Kristoff Connecticut, or the savory and full body found in the Pissed Off Kristoff, they have a cigar to satisfy the palate of the most discriminating aficionado. It all begins at the very first climate-controlled Rodriguez Olivan cigar factory located in the Dominican Republic. Our two major brands include Don Olivan, which are boutique cigars suited for that individual who takes great pride in something unique. BAMF is our armed forces cigars, designed for that badass mother effer. Not only are you smoking a great premium cigar, a percentage of the proceeds is donated to our heroic men and women in uniform.
And we're back.
And at least we get you like that. You must love the voiceover talent that's happening, or you're laughing at it anyway. Either way,
some of the ads were amazing.
We got yours too. We're doing it.
Yeah, it's coming up on the next segment.
Oh no, I was enjoying. I mean, yeah.
We got a lot of people out there that's asking us a lot of questions to ask you. But before that, I know Tim's got some questions that he wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so I'm always, fascinated because, when I was shopping, of course, for my birthday gift giveaways, just the sheer variety of pipe shapes that you guys make. Now, those are all coming from, 4 different types of cob?
Yeah, they do. It's not 4 different. It's basically 2 different. It's actually just one type of cob that's made up of 4 different varieties. But yeah, they all come from because on the cobs, I showed you the like the cobs that have the big diameter like this one. This we get probably 40% of the crop will be this diameter. But we'll get a lot of smaller diameters too. So the variety of pipes that you have seen, Tim, and that we have, we can use some of the smaller cobs. We can use to make some of our the small pipe, like the miniatures. We call them ponies, which is kind of the next size up from a miniature, all the way up to some of the mid size. But when you get into the larger, size pipes, then we've got to have that big diameter. But yeah, it's all that one freehand. That's one of our freehands. You got to have a big cob for that one.
Or your MacArthur's.
Yeah, and the MacArthur's. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's all from that variety.
Yeah, we don't plan it.
And most of those, are literally made by hand on a lathe. Like the freehand, Tim, that you're smoking and this is the one that I'm smoking here. I mean, this was made by hand, a guy on a lathe, and that's why when you get them, if you had 5 of those freehands and put them all side by side, there'd be some variation in each one of them, because they're made by hand, they're not going to be exact dimensions on it all the time. But also the cob itself. These guys on the lathe, when you watch them, they're really like artisans. I mean, they have to know all these different shapes that we make, but they also have to look at each cob that they put on there and say, okay, what pipe am I going to be able to make out of this cob? He may start out like making that freehand like you have, Tim, but then he may say, oh, this one isn't going to make a freehand. I've got to make a Country Gentleman or something like that, so it's fascinating to watch these guys, whenever they're on the lathe, making the pipes. But yeah, they all come from that variety. Yeah, here's a Country Gentleman.
Mm-hmm. So here's the
it's a Country Gentleman.
General MacArthur. I knew I had a picture of him somewhere. There we go.
Yeah, and we made, as you guys know, we made his pipes right here, but you know, and no disrespect to General MacArthur, but that one, I don't know if any of you've ever tried to smoke one of those, but they're not the most friendly pipe to smoke. You know, that's a photo op pipe.
Yeah.
Right. That's a pretty deep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just look how long it is, and that,
Right.
you know, the leverage, you know, clenching that thing in your mouth with the leverage of that big cob out there. You know, that was.
You got to have some good choppers.
Iron jaw. That's
And we have some pictures of General MacArthur smoking what I think was probably more like his everyday pipe, and it's more like a country gentleman. It's I can't remember the name of the Jewel was the name of the pipe, and we don't make a specific. I don't know why. It's one of those that was discontinued years ago, but that's what he smoked, and it was like our current country gentleman.
Okay.
But that big one, the MacArthur, that makes a great photo op.
There's a good question from Bruce. How do you keep the cobs from burning up from the inside?
Well, it's remember whenever I was showing you that the interior of the cob and that big, you know, thick woody ring portion, you know,
Yep.
that's around the pith right here. Well, once that has dried, you know, like I said earlier, that's literally as hard as wood.
Yes.
You
Wow.
know, so whenever you smoke, you know, a few bowls in it, and I think this is true of any pipe, Briars, you know, or any pipe, you know, the sugars in the tobacco kind of caramelize, you know, on the interior of it.
Right.
And you know, now I won't say that some of our pipes don't burn through, because every once in a while the pith will grow out into the woody ring. There'll be like a little vein that grows into the woody ring, and we can't see it. And eventually, over time, you know, that could burn the pith and you know, burn a hole into the side. But as long as, you know, as long as the tobacco has caramelized, the sugars in the tobacco have caramelized, you know, on the inside of that bowl, and as long as you treat it like you would any other pipe, and as all you guys there and everybody out there that's listening, you know, moisture is the enemy of any pipe, you know, and as long as you know, treat it, take care of it, you know, let it dry out in between, you know, uses or whatever, then it'll last and it won't burn through.
Now, you guys had gotten into like cherry wood pipes and stuff before too. How did that come about?
Yeah, that we've made. There's a pipe that we call the Ozark Mountain, you know, that we've made. Gosh, I don't know how many years, probably 50, 60 years that we've made that. And it's made from. It's not actually made from cherry. It's made from either hard maple or birch, white birch.
Okay.
And the way that one came about is the retailers, the retail shops that carry our pipes. You know, most of our pipes are relatively inexpensive. You know, right. Especially when you're in the mid size, like the Legend, the Washington, the Missouri Pride. You know, those are they're great pipes, but they're inexpensive. And the retailers wanted a wooden pipe that was at a similar price point, you know, to go along with those. So that's how we came up with the Ozark Mountain years ago. But back in 2012, you know, it was a drought year. You know, there was a bad drought across the whole midsection of the United States, and everybody had a poor corn crop that year. And we were really concerned about ours. I mean, we thought we're going to get less than half of what we should. In fact, we got about 30% of what we should have in 2012. And when we knew that was going to happen, one of the people down in the plant suggested that we make some of our popular shapes, like the Country Gentleman, the Apple Diplomat, and at the time, the Great Dane Spool, which we don't do anymore. Mm-hmm. But to make those pipes out of maple hardwood. And so we did that mainly because we thought, you know, when 2013 and 2014 rolled around, we may be out of cobs, and that would be all we would have to sell. Luckily, that didn't happen. I mean, we got down to a very low inventory, but But anyhow, that's why we offer some of the wooden pipes too.
Question for you: how many acres of corn do you sow yearly in order to meet demand?
Yeah, we own a field over in the Missouri River bottoms. The Missouri River is right behind us.
Okay.
And it's over some of the most fertile land in the United States, is in the Missouri River bottoms. And we have 150 acres. It's across the river and west about 7 miles. So we average about 150 acres, every year. One year we grew about 270. That was after the 2012 drought year that we knew we needed to build up the inventory. But, as anybody that's listening out there that knows about growing corn, you can, but you shouldn't grow corn year after year after year in the same field. You should rotate.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Usually with soybeans, is that at least down here, what they rotate with is soybeans and corn.
Sure.
So we rent some land, about 70 acres roughly, so that on the 150 acres that we own is divided almost evenly in half by a road. So we'll grow corn in half of that, soybeans in the other half, and then corn on the other 70 acres that we're renting. And then we'll just kind of rotate, around, so
Right.
because corn sucks all the nutrients. Corn really sucks the nutrients out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's why you got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of questions. One was approximately how many pipes do you do a year?
Okay, roughly. Now this includes all the little miniature pipes, all the way up to the MacArthur's and the Freehans. But right now we average about 2,000 per day.
Per day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're looking at around, let's say, roughly 500,000 pipes, per year.
Wow.
Which sounds like a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah.
But back in the heyday of pipe smoking, back in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, after World War II, pipe smoking started to decline somewhat because of cigarettes. But in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, our company alone made 20 million pipes per year.
Wow.
And we weren't the only corncob pipe company at that time. There were 2 or 3 others. None of the others were as large as we were, but that just gives you kind of an indication of how big the market was at one time and what it is now. So
now, do you see it starting to tick up? Because I feel like more and more people are starting to go towards the pipe smoking. So are you starting to see that uptick coming?
Yeah, Kyle, we do. We see when you look at the demographics, of the pipe community, and you guys probably know it from the Chicago Pipe, club and
show.
We see it in the pipe shows. For instance, this last weekend, we were at the Texas Pipe Show in Dallas.
Okay.
And you see the demographic. I mean, there's everybody from old farts like me and older, and then there's then there's the young guys there, and the young guys in their early 20s. And what they're usually doing is they're dragging along, they come in groups. One of them is the expert. And, they're showing the other young guys, how cool this hobby is and how to do it. And so we constantly see that at the pipe shows, so I think that the demographic is, Kyle, I don't know that I would say it's growing, but at least I think it's maintaining. Which I think for when you consider anything connected to smoking of any type, if you're maintaining, I think you're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
We see that at our show, the Chicago Pipe Show. A lot of younger people are getting into it. We've noticed an increase every year now.
Yeah. And I think it's great. I think it's a great hobby. I mean, it's a social hobby. It's something you've got to think as, and I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but it's it's something you have to think about. You've got to decide, when you're going to smoke a pipe. I mean, I look around my office, of course I got pretty much an infinite supply here, but
your daughter's shocked by hearing.
Those are the test ones. You gotta test the product.
You gotta test it, yeah.
You have to decide what pipe you want to smoke, and then you've got an infinite variety of pipe tobacco. So it's just a great, to me, it's just a great hobby, and then you get to talk to each other about it.
I think it also goes along with, all the distilleries and breweries and whatnot that are popping up. And then when you think that, okay, well, now I can take a pipe with a tobacco, and then I'm supposed to, pair it with my bourbon, and you have all of that. So it just is like another layer to it. And it's become so popular as well. And so it just kind of ties into that. So if you want to really think about it, you can. And if you want, it appeals to so many senses as well. So I always say pipe smoking always brings out, for a lot of people, an emotional connection, because you're smelling it. It's bringing back the memories. It's that social connection. So it just brings a whole lot. People love to talk about it. It brings back history, camaraderie, all of that all together. And I always say in this industry, or even when I'm going out to talk to people in the museum or anywhere I go and talk about it, nobody's really in a bad mood when they're coming to talk to you.
No, and it's a more pleasant smell. I mean, you go up and you light up a pipe, and people immediately like, oh, what is that? That's a pipe. It's a pipe, and rather than somebody lighting up that cigarette, and they're like, oh, God.
Nobody's wanting to give you the mean eye, the stink eye. They're saying, oh, that, it's just immediately engaging you in conversation.
Yeah,
the pipe.
There's like nostalgia in there too. A lot of people say, "Oh, it reminds me of my dad or my grandfather who smoked the pipe." People always seem to be gravitating towards you when you're smoking a pipe.
Yeah, and with the young guys, and I know you guys, I'm sure you guys see it too, that there seems to be this desire to kind of look back in history and pick up some of these old hobbies that that go way back. So
it's even going as far as now with the mustaches. Everyone's doing the wax and the mustaches and everything. It's like, it's amazing that all these fashion
let's
trends.
Not get out of hand.
It's just because you can't grow one.
Hey, so Shannon, delicate flower.
Shannon got your thing.
I can't grow one either. I'm really trying.
We got two requests. One, we got a couple of people that they want you to please say hello to Brett.
I will most certainly let him know that he was mentioned. He is my husband. He also does a lot of shows and tours and everything. He's a great asset to us.
Yes, he is.
All right.
Awesome.
And for the future, have any ideas and thoughts that you can, make exclusive announcements here on where you're going to take the company to?
Like the date you take over, the actual date. I'm sure that would be an exclusive, especially to your dad, because he doesn't know.
No pressure.
Yeah. It's already been a long, drawn-out process. So
be careful.
There's
coming down.
a lot of knowledge that has been passed. There's still things that have to be learned. I will never know it all, even though he tells me I am a know-it-all. But we won't get into that kind of family stuff here on your show. I'm grateful. I can tell you that. I'm definitely grateful to be given this opportunity. I can definitely say that.
Awesome.
I will let you. Should we tell them about Lord Morgan?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, we do have a wonderful tobacco that will be coming out.
That was another question.
Yes, I'm going to let. Okay, so in our family, we definitely like to razz each other, and we named a beautiful tobacco after Mr. Morgan here.
Let me tell him the history.
Yes, absolutely.
There was several years ago. We sell a lot, probably 35 to 40%. Of what we make and sell is exported, and it gets exported into the Asia, Europe, obviously, and into Asia. And a few years ago, and this is part of what, when you send emails and you have to translate them, this is the type of thing that happens. I think it was an individual in either Malaysia or Indonesia or India. It was one, I can't remember which country, but when it got translated to, instead of Mr. Morgan, it came out Lord Morgan.
I like that.
Oh, okay.
So I immediately told them in the office that from this point forward, I prefer to be addressed as Lord Morgan.
Did your chair sit higher than everybody else?
So that's the backstory to it.
So for years, we've been calling him Lord Morgan, and I don't know, most of you have probably gotten to meet my mother, Pat Morgan, who has a great abundance of humor herself. So then she took on calling him Lord Morgan. And so we had a chance to make a blend with Sutliff McBaron Company. So I will let Phil go over the loveliness that's in here.
Yeah, this is a blend that they came up with. It'll end up being an aromatic English.
Okay.
And it's a mixture of Cyprian Latakia, Oriental, Virginia Burley's, dash of Perique, but it's aged for 9 months in a bourbon barrel.
Ooh.
Oh,
So we had to come. They wanted us to come up with a name for it, and Shannon and the other ladies here in the office are the ones that actually came up.
Yes,
with the
so
name.
we were really struggling with a name, and so then we decided to do Lord Morgan. He was not a fan of it, but we vote on things around here.
So here's the.
Oh,
All right.
oh, nice.
That's what the kid.
Nice.
So,
Very nice, my lord.
My lord, we are surrounded by nobility.
Yes, royalty.
We really did give him a little punch on it. We did say it was the preferred smoke of lords.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
It's not nobility, it's hillbility.
But fingers crossed, we hope that it's going to be out within the next couple weeks.
Oh, wow, very good. We're looking forward to trying it.
Perfect time for a Christmas gift. Very good.
Yeah.
but now Phil, all you can go online. You can buy 1 square foot of land in Scotland, and you're automatically a lord. You can call yourself legally
A true lord.
Seriously.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me write that down too.
And then you can put this
Then it's really official.
My
Really
little
official.
You get your shields and everything, your whole design.
You know,
You're going to have 2 pipes coming through each other. I mean, there's so much you can do.
Oh, that's it, Scotland though. So kilt. I can see a kilt in my future then.
We may not want to do a special, especially if you keep the camera too low, Phil. You got to keep the camera up high.
Let's talk about this.
Oh, God. Well, exciting news indeed. Right here, folks. You heard the exclusive. Lord Morgan coming out hopefully everywhere
December.
by Christmas time. Make sure you pick up a few pounds of it. Why not? It's Lord pounds,
Or will you have bulk? Did they decide? Or
No, it's actually currently it's numbered 10s.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it is.
limited edition
At
so
this
far.
point, it's
yes.
limited edition.
Yeah.
no,
So
definitely have to
Nice.
do that.
Dave keeps talking about the orchard mist
yes.
in a peach. What can we tell the crowd about that?
That was also a limited edition that we released. When did we end up releasing that?
Oh gosh,
Was it-
3 months ago maybe.
Yeah.
Two to 3 months
Yeah.
ago maybe.
Yeah, and you can hold that up
Yeah. There's the.
because it was done with select Burley Virginias in a peach barrel.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Huh.
And again, they
With
Sutliff
Sutliff
McBaron, contacted us about doing that, and they said, hey, we got this peach brandy barrel, and we said, oh, perfect.
We'd love to.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just to do these limited edition things,
Yes.
we're not the only people that do that. I mean, other companies do that too, but it's kind of fun.
It's tasty.
It's kind of fun to, to have a product that we make that other companies want to, to do something with you, that kind of collaborate with you, like, Cornell and Deal, for instance, like the pipe that I'm smoking, which is the Charlestown Cobbler, the bottom of that.
Oh, yeah.
It has C&D, Cornell and Deal, and then Missouri Meerschaum on it. That was Shane Ireland, from Smoking Pipes, contacted us years ago about doing some pipes with co-branded, So this is one, and the Charlestown Cobbler, the Carolina Gent, and then a new one that we just came out with that Shane designed, actually, is
ooh, beautiful.
That is nice.
Wow.
Whoa. I just had a great idea.
Uh-oh.
Pipe from the CPCC called the Skyline, the Chicago Skyline. Deep bowl, like a skyscraper, like deep dish.
I don't see you writing this down.
Shannon got it. The show's coming in 2022. There's something we're going to have to talk about. Who do we talk to? You, Phil?
We will have a show.
Just draw something up and send it to us. That's
all right.
I was writing.
Huh? And by the way, Andra had mentioned something in regards to becoming a lord. It's scotlandtitles.com to make sure you become a true lord. We got people taking care of you, Lord. Anyway.
That better not be what you want for Christmas.
Well, you said it. You might have
2 square feet.
You are not worthy.
Can you guys hold on a little bit? We're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to go to our segment of Smoke the Chew. Take it away.
Cigar Prop started off as one item, a simple cigar rest born out of necessity. Over the years, Cigar Prop has morphed into something greater. Cigar Prop is now a brand, a journey, a way of life. It has become known as Prop Style. That simple cigar rest has turned into a whole line of cigar accessories, apparel, and even a weekly live show called the I Tap That Cigar Show. So remember, make sure you give your cigars the props they deserve, but more importantly, remember to live Prop Style. Johnny D. Teas out of Lakeville, Illinois are a veteran-owned company that take great pride in their work. Their goal is not to fulfill one order, but to earn all future orders by offering the best products at unbeatable prices. Ask any of their repeat customers and they'll tell you their quality is always the highest and their prices are always the lowest. Shop any Veterans Collection and 25% of the proceeds will be donated back to the veterans of foreign wars or the American Legion.
This is Phil Morgan, General Manager of Missouri Meerschaum Corncob Pipes in Washington, Missouri. Our mission since 1869 has been to produce great smoking pipes that anyone can afford. We guarantee our pipes won't be your most expensive, but they just might be the ones you smoke the most. At Missouri Meerschaum Company, we don't just sell our corncob pipes, we grow them, make them, and smoke them. Missouri Meerschaum, Washington, Missouri, since 1869.
Specializing in tobacco pipe refurbishment and sales, Briar 911 buys and sells all kinds of pipes from a single pipe to entire collections. Our services include stem repair, replacement, deoxidation, and sanitization, reaming, cleaning, and bowl sanitizing, shank crack repair, buffing, and waxing. We make sure that each pipe is ready to smoke once it leaves our shop. For more info, contact us via Facebook at Briar 911.
And we're back.
We are back.
We're going to get
Phil,
hi.
Go ahead.
I have a question for Phil. Actually, I have something for him to do in your retirement.
Oh.
I would love for you to do the voiceovers for all our commercials because your voice and your commercial is the best one that I like. So because my voice isn't in it. So you can take over all the voice work.
I'll I'll consider that. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you're not drinking that whiskey while you're doing it, but
my voice may become a little more gravelly after I start smoking.
I like gravel. There's nothing wrong with that.
Pint.
You guys like to stay on, and it's this segment, obviously, that we talk about. It's Smoke the Chew. Basically, Frank is going to ask I guess right now there's a whole bunch of us. So there's going to be 6 of us questions that he's going to try to make look like a bunch of chooches. There'll be 3 questions for us, and then the winners of the special question that he asked for them. Tonight, we're going to give away a pipe. What do you think? Yeah, we can give away a Diplomat Meerschaum. Kudos of the president of the Chicago Pipe Club.
Courtesy of Phil Morgan
and Shannon.
Hey, all right.
Here we go. For the winners, there's going to be a pipe tonight. We have a lot of pipe guys on. So, Frank, let's ask question number 1.
Sure, why not? I'm kind of like a history buff, sort of. So on this date in history in 1921, this person receives the Nobel Peace Prize in physics.
Albert Einstein.
Ooh, the teacher, of course,
comes
is going
in right
to
away, man. Oh, man.
Who invited this guy?
Theory of relativity.
I don't know. It's always a problem when Tim's sitting there because he winds up guessing correctly. And I can't stop him. But make sure, Phil, if you know the answer, jump in. Shannon, jump in, please. I don't want the guys that are sitting on the couch to guess.
Okay.
Yes, Dave, we'll have a T-shirt for you on Saturday if you wish.
Okay, on this date in history, in 2015, this Scottish session drummer died at age 82. He was affectionately known and christened the 5th Beatle. Who is he?
Buddy Rich.
No.
Billy Preston. Well,
Billy Preston was on keyboard.
See, I think this might stump it. I'll give him a little bit. He was best known for replacing Ringo Starr's on drums on the Beatles' first single, "Love Me Do."
Yeah.
Pete Best?
No.
Ringo replaced Pete Best.
See, this is how I get them. This is how I do it. I dig deep. I know I couldn't stump Bob because he knows this answer. It's Andy White, folks. Andy White.
I bet you most people don't know
the
that.
5th Beatle.
Lord Andy White.
Lord Andy White. There we go. He was Scottish, and he probably owned at least 2 square feet somewhere.
He's selling his right now, just to let you know, Phil, in case you want to take a spot.
Well, voiceover is going to cost you 2 feet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right and the left. One last question before the audience, folks.
You got it. All right. In 2000, on this date in history, in 2011, this legendary college football coach, was fired over a child abuse scandal.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. I figured I'd give you guys an easy one.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Go ahead, next.
You want one more?
Yeah,
before I throw it out? All right.
Go ahead.
In 1989, on this date in history, this Eastern Bloc country opened its border to its neighbors on the west.
East Germany.
There we go. Very good, guys. You guys are doing pretty good tonight. I can't believe it. You must be Tim must be rubbing off on Ronnie.
Tear down the wall.
Smoking pipes.
Good.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
I'll give you one last one before we go to the audience.
All right, everybody's online. They want that pipe, Frank.
I know they do. I'm keeping them on their edge.
You got Barry Bones. You got Bruce Stark. You got Andre on there. You got a whole bunch of them. Dave, everybody, go.
All right, this is for you guys, though. This is still for you. This isn't for the audience yet. All right. November 9th was a very historic day in 1967. This first issue magazine, founded by Jan Wenner about music,
I know
popular
that one is.
culture, and
Rolling Stone
politics.
magazine.
And
Oh,
yes,
Ronnie got
and what
that.
did it? And who did it feature in the first issue? And there was also something included in that first issue that was a little controversial.
Yeah.
See, you guys think you know it all.
Rolling.
No, it actually featured John Lennon, and it had a roach clip.
Yep.
Very interesting.
You never know what you're going to learn on this show.
Yeah.
Good old 60s.
You just don't.
Well, November 9th is almost gone. Let's ask the audience the big question. For a different Meerschaum pipe. Ready, folks?
Okay.
Kyle and I will be looking at our Facebook pages for your answers.
And I'm going to give a little help here so that people can read along. So, Kyle, play my intro music. Okay, folks. This person died on November 9th, 2003. The actor was born in Mount Vernon, New York in 1918 and will be always remembered fondly for his role as a dirty job role opposite the bus driver on this groundbreaking TV comedy.
That's so easy.
Hey,
that was so easy.
I want to give the pipe away to somebody. I don't know. Did anybody? I don't see anybody commenting.
Oh man, where are these people? Come on.
Oh, let's see. Barry Bones. Oh, it is. Let's go to the answer, folks. Is.
You forgot to ask what was the stage name or the real name?
Well, it's
out there.
Art Carney. Art Carney, folks. It's Art Carney. Whoever actually said Art Carney is the winner. And obviously he was a pipe smoker. And thus, I had to relate to the show.
I'm looking at Kafie had the
Kafie won, but you know what? I think Barry Bones came in because again you didn't specify. You got a name.
Okay.
And we're gonna take two pipes. We're gonna send to Barry Bones. You're gonna get yours for Ed Norton because that's what I thought of too. But the real name, Kafie won. Art Carney. So two winners tonight. Compliments of the Missouri Meerschaum Company. Congrats to both of you.
Congratulations.
Shannon, we wish you all the luck. We hope that you can come on next year also and talk about what you're bringing to the company. And we hope we can count on your sponsorship also to continue. I hate to say it. I like to say it. A little rough, but that's right. Phil, we do hope to see you and talk to you again. And thank you for all the support.
Even in retirement. We're going to see you at the show this year, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Okay.
But at least you're going to do events. You're not going to retire from the events, though.
Oh, no. Definitely going to go to the shows. So.
Nice.
All right.
Good. Very good.
We hope to announce the Chicago Pipe Show hopefully within a week or so of the dates and where. So we will have a show this year. Again, unless the wonderful governor, he runs the show, to say. That's the only thing that would stop us.
Yeah, everybody, even down at the Texas Pipe Show in Dallas, people were talking about, well, I hope they have a Chicago show this year, or next year, rather.
Well, we will have it, yes.
We're pushing forward with it at this point.
Just like MacArthur, I will return.
You will return. Anyway, again, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Again, guys.
And from all of us to all of you, keep them lit, folks. Keep them smoking. Have a great one. Saturday, turn on to Kyle and myself. Special event, a pipe show from Arlington Pipes and Cigars. We're going to talk pipes. And then if you're in the area, stop by for the Chicago Pipe Club meeting right after that. Mm-hmm. Take care. We'll see you Saturday.
Thank you. Good night.
Perdomo Taj Mahal here.
It really is.
They're stopping by. Oh, I heard about you. I smoke your cigars. I love it.
That's the short story behind how Kristoff got started. It's actually named after our son, Christopher.
We're infamous
for our packaging. Everybody knows Gurkha's got the best packaging, the most beautiful labels.
All your listeners out there, thank you. Be careful, be safe, and God bless you.
Long ashes and slow burns, my friend.
Bye-bye.
There you go.
Tell my brothers to line them up. We'll drink that whiskey from those old dirty cups. We'll toast to the present, the future, and the past. This ain't my first drink, but I sure it ain't my last. 'Cause this world is so beautiful. I see its love come shining through. This world is so beautiful.